meeting. Today is Tuesday, February 21st, 2023. We got the Board of Education building, 5740 Lawn Avenue, and our start time this evening will be 6:02 p.m. Mr. Friedrich, can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Girth, Ms. Granger, Mrs. Moore,
Here.
Mr. Blackwell,
Here.
Mr. Brown.
Present. And we rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Board members, can I have a motion to adopt our official agenda for this evening, please? Second. That motion was moved and properly seconded. Can I have a roll call, please?
Mrs. Moore,
Yes.
Mr. Blackwell,
Yes.
Mr. Brown.
Yes, motion carries. Thank you. Next, the reading, approval, and signing of the minutes of January 2023. Those meetings are as follows: January 5th, organizational meeting; January 18th, special meeting; January 23rd, regularly scheduled meeting. Can I have a motion, please?
Second.
Thank you. That motion has been moved and properly seconded. Roll call.
Mr. Blackwell,
I'm sorry, any discussions on the matter before? Seeing none, can I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Blackwell,
Yes.
Mrs. Moore,
Yes.
Mr. Brown.
Yes, motion carries. Thank you. Mr. President, your financial report.
Yeah, so first I'd like to talk about the monthly report in front of the board. You turn to page 3, you'll see that we are doing favorably than what was projected in the fall forecast. Revenue is up from that forecast about $700,000. A big part of that is we've been taking advantage of STAR interest rates, which we have done in the past. So that is up, and also Medicaid reimbursements up this year. And as far as the expenditures, we are favorable $1.6 million. Big part of that was money that we had moved from personnel to ESSER funds in the beginning of the year. And then we also took advantage, we had money left over in the 467 wellness fund. And used that money up for personnel costs and benefits. Are there any questions about the report? Other than those?
Thank you for your report, Mr. Friedrich. Board members, are there any questions about this report?
No, not from.
And another thing, resolution number 23-18, we received this from our legal counsel. This is authorizing filing of a complaint from a property. It was sold last year at $2,079,000. And then the county tax value for 2022 of that property is $934,000. So we would like to file a complaint against that.
Okay. That's crazy.
And with that, I recommend the board approve item 6A, 1 through 4.
He is looking for approval of items 6A, 1 through 4. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
In a second. Thank you. Any discussions on the matter? Seeing none, Mr. Friedrich, can I have a roll call, please?
Mrs. Moore,
Yes.
Mr. Blackwell,
Yes.
Mr. Brown.
Yes. Motion carries. Dr. Keenan, do you have a report?
Report for this evening under 7A. One is information for 2 students for home instruction. Under 7A2, I'd like to introduce Mr. Doward Williamson to you this evening. Mr. Williamson is former state champ, track champ out of Maple Heights, currently lives in California, and he has a strong interest in track and wanted to talk to the board publicly about proposal for a youth cross-country program. So Mr. Williamson, if you want to come to the mic. Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Williamson is also a former Pathfinder, and he'll be back here to be honored again tomorrow at our Pathfinders Assembly at the high school.
2012, I think. Okay. Dates run together. My name is Doward Williamson. As Dr. Keenan mentioned, I graduate of Maple Heights High School, 1976. A former All-American at University of Toledo. Still hold 8 records there, still hold 2 records here. I'm a warehouse of my former self. However, what I'd like to present to you is a program that was developed by Reggie McAfee. Reggie McAfee was the first Black American miler to break 4 minutes. Reggie McAfee was a 2-time state champion cross country, and he was the person I always wanted to be. He set up a 501c3 program called Cross Country for Youth. I'd like to present it up on the board if I could. I'll need some assistance from Jacob if I can. The program is set up. I don't know if I can. Pardon? Oh, I have to join the Zoom. The program is set up to encourage young people. I'm just going to talk through it right now because I don't want to be bothered with trying to get the technical part of it. The program is encouraging young people, middle school initially, and then to the elementary schools to get them involved in cross country. When I ran cross country way back before cell phones, cross country was only 2 miles at high school. High school now is 3.1 miles. Many kids coming out of middle school look at that delta of difference and it's too much to attain. And it can be very discouraging. And that is a part of what Cross Country for Youth is all about. One of the things they do is they instill an opportunity for people, for the youth in this community to get out and run and compete. And they find out things about themselves. They find an inner confidence. That's one of the things that I found out when I was running. They find an inner strength. They find a self-esteem. And in the components of Cross Country for Youth, all of those things are addressed. One of the things they do is they set out every week, they have a what's on your plate, talking about nutrition. That is a part of the training. The other thing is making sure that you're being responsible as a student for your studies and also maintaining a certain GPA. And that's a part of self-love. And that's what we're trying to address here. Then the other component is the actual activity. We talk about warming up. We talk about keeping a log. We talk about getting kids prepared to compete. I've come back to the high school numerous times in my business trips to speak to the high school and speak to kids and try to encourage them. I have a saying that my kids know very well. Nothing in life is as fair as track and field. You either run faster, jump higher, or throw it further. No coach can tell you you're not good enough because a time trial is settling. And it's the only sport that you can compete in, that you can finish dead last. But if you did better than you ever did before, you still win. Nothing in life is that fair. That's the values that cross country and track bestowed upon me. And I feel an obligation to come 2,600 miles across the country to address my alma mater, to talk about getting something started here. I think there are a lot of components to the program. There's a testimony that if you log on to Cross Country for Youth via your phone or your iPad, the first thing that'll come up is a Johns Hopkins Public Health Association endorsed the program. We've gotten grants from Johnson & Johnson, Sigma Theta, AKA. We've gotten grants from many other organizations encouraging our youth to get involved in track and cross country primarily. The races are 2 miles long. It's already a program that's started in North Carolina where Reggie McAfee currently lives, and that's where he was All-American at University of North Carolina. And we are currently looking at programs in the greater Cincinnati area where Reggie went to high school. I can think of nothing better than the former state champ of Maple Heights getting something started here in Maple Heights and getting our kids involved. Too many kids are going around, and my kids were, some of them, involved playing a lot of video games, and you're sitting around, and COVID didn't help. And now we have an opportunity here to get those kids involved in an activity that has long-reaching ramifications for them in a positive way. I've told people many times, if I hadn't had cross country and track when I was in high school, I'd have been dead because I ran my mouth too much. I'm just keeping it straight because that's what I talked. And I've been in sales for 38 years and I'm still talking. But my point is, sometimes we need a navigator, a light on the rocks to say, don't turn here, turn here. Here's a safe harbor. And I do believe Cross Country for Youth is a type of program that can provide a safe harbor from some kids. And not, if they may get involved with it, and I don't know that we'll have a state champ. I hope they do, because I'm tired. I think my record's been there long enough. However, I feel that it's an opportunity for kids to improve themselves. There are many accomplished cross-country runners from Maple Heights that have gone on to great things. I like to think of myself as a slacker of that group, but as far as the actual academics, the cross-country program helped instill that in them. And I think this program can do that for the kids now. As far as the cost of the program, and if there's any questions, I will field them. If I can't get the answer now, I'll definitely get it to you. Reggie McAfee is supposed to join this program via Zoom. He may be on now. And it's a program that I think deserves to start here. There are other high school and boards, I'll say not middle schools and boards that are already in a cross-country program, but our school isn't. There is competition available out there. I do believe Warrensville Heights has one. I do believe Bedford has one. I know East Cleveland Heights has one. And when our kids get to high school, they're way behind. But it's even more than that. I think the biggest part of it is getting those kids active, fighting obesity, getting them moving, maybe finding something they actually love. I've also been a soccer referee for the past 25 years. And the goal of that is making sure that the kids enjoy the sport when they see it again. I used to play that. That's a magical thing when they can watch someone on television doing something that they used to do. And cross country and track is the same thing. And I'll field any questions that you may have about the program. And thank you for your time, board, please.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Board member, have questions about the program? I look at the web.
Yeah, so the cost per athlete would be $165, but that can be offset. The season would start September and end second week in November, very similar to what the high school program does. Those costs can be mitigated through grants and loans throughout the community. And I've already started to reach out to different community, in particular health community outlets such as the Cleveland Clinic and a university systems, hospital systems to work with that. But that's what I'd like to get started. And there are a lot of grants out there to get something started like that. So when you think of a sport for a middle school student to participate in, the cost is sort of minor compared to other things that are going on. We would have we would designate a coach to come in and work with the kids. And that would be something that would be decided obviously by the board here and other involved individuals that would be participating. They would want, actually, they're looking for a delta. They're looking for their grades to go up. So you're looking at the floor maybe being a 2.0 and then going from there. I'd like to know number one, if you're interested in implementing the program, and if it means for me to come back, I'll come back. I'd like to see if we can secure additional funding if needed to help offset. I want to be an active participant in making sure this is successful. If we help one child going forward, I'm good. I'm good. I'm just.
You have a process that involves.
Okay.
Probably that way it has all of the specifics outlined, so that way when we have those conversations, we can be informed about the decisions that we want and make sure that we can allocate resources accordingly, or be able to kind of pitch in and see what we can do on our end as well. But I think it's just the best way to go about it right now at this point. Got anything, Charlie?
I would just say I'm thankful that you're coming and making this proposal and this pitch. This board has already authorized other youth programs in our system. And like Mr. Brown said, we need a formal proposal that they can consider, and how will it run? And so you and I can work out those details, but I feel pretty confident that something that, is good for our kids from the youth all the way up through the high school, we can find a way to figure out the support, especially with all the resources you're talking about that you have. So I appreciate you coming and giving all this to us.
No problem. No problem.
I'll touch base with you tomorrow too when I see you.
That sounds good. Any other questions? Thanks again.
So much. We appreciate it.
Thanks again for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
This is our presentation from our ECAC program. The building level goals, they're being done by Dr. Pam's and her team. And so Dr. Pam's is giving you guys a electronic version. Here's a hard copy, and she's going to do her presentation this evening about the building level goals from ECAC. I just also like that. Ms. Pam's is taking over the ECAC program a few years back, and really some of the results that we've seen over that time and the increases have been really tremendous. And just want to thank her for all the energy and effort that she puts into the program.
All right. Good evening, President Brown, Vice President Blackwell, other board members, Dr. Keenan, and Mr. Frederick. I am Dr. Pams, your principal of the ECAC program. This evening, I will present our ECAC goals and share with you our progress towards those goals. That's the ECAC family. That's my staff there. We meet regularly to go over our goals, to check our progress and make any additions or corrections to our goals if needed. I have 3 goals. Well, before I do that, I just want to go back to our vision and mission, which drives the work that we do at ECAC, making sure that we educate our students with the expectation of excellence so that we can prepare them for a lifetime of success. So I have 3 goals, and I'm going to begin with academics. As you can see here, we have 5 goals under academics. The data for each of the 5 goals show that we are on track. Therefore, we're staying the course. Also, I wanted to share with you some pictures in regards to our students working hard at ECAC. You see there, ECAC is a place where we like to say your dreams can come true at ECAC. You know, things that you have missed before, you can achieve those at ECAC. And you can see our students they're focused on completing their coursework. Are there any questions regarding the academic piece? Okay. I would like to continue on with our next goal, which is diversity, equity, and inclusion. And once again, this goal here, all 5 of the goals, the data shows that we are on track. So therefore, we're staying the course with this goal. This goal, as you all know, of course, you're the board. This is a board focus. We are one community at ECAC. We celebrate our students through the shout outs, Mustang Pride. We recognize our students for their hard work each quarter through our academic awards program. We also do quarterly incentives with our students just to celebrate being in school. Everyone is included. It's not one that you have to earn your way to attend the celebrations. Just come to school and we're just going to celebrate finishing another quarter of school. And lastly, we also like to engage our staff in having a good time at work when they come. So we do motivating activities like our most recent. We had it was, to celebrate Valentine's Day. We had some celebrity couples. It was a race. My staff is very competitive. Each one of them had a mate in their classroom, and they had to find the match to match their celebrity couple. And you can see there's Miss Darnell and Mr. Graham. They had Beyonce and Jay-Z. So they had to bring them together. So we like to have fun. We're one community at ECAC. Are there any questions regarding our DEI goals? And I'm move on to communication, which I had the privilege to sit on this committee a couple of years back. Communications, as you can see, we are, the data shows that we're on track. We did make one adjustment, and that is to the student news goal. We made an adjustment. Normally, we interview our kids before they attend a field trip and after. And I use their statements to create our community connections submission articles. So I'm working with Mrs. McCants to figure out how does student news look at ECAC? I know they're doing some things at the high school. ECAC is a little different. So we're working together. I don't know if it means taking over our Instagram page for a day or going live or something. I don't know. So that's something we are working on. But we do interview our students before they attend a field trip and after, so we can get their perspective and feedback. And some of the other things that we do in regards to communication, I do send out a morning a Monday morning memo to my staff every Monday to just give them the updates of the week. Also to shout out to our staff, give them some weekly to-dos. We also have parents come out for our parent-teacher conferences, which the attendance at those meetings have really improved over the years. And once a quarter, I have what I call Pastries with Principal Pam's. And that is just a time for parents to come out and just talk. We just talk. Tell me what's going well for your student here at ECAC. Tell me what can we change here at ECAC. So that's just a relaxing time. And of course, we do have social media, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. So please follow us at ECAC MH and see all the wonderful things that we're doing every day. And are there any questions in regards to those communication goals?
Just monitor out front.
I do. Those are-
I see some of the kids on there when I come in. I see some of the kids on there. So do you use that as far as your when you have your news goals, as far as when you want your news
Student
the
news.
student news? Do you use that to post some of your events or response from your events? Or
I have not used it in the way I was explaining, where I will interview them before and after.
yeah.
I usually use that information to put in our community connections, but we do post the flyers. We post pictures from their events, pictures in class, but not in the way that where you can hear them. So that's something we're working on, figuring out how we can do that.
Okay. All right.
Thank you all for the opportunity to serve. Thank you.
We appreciate all the hard work you all are doing.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Dr. Pans, before you go, could you, just for the public's sake, we have district level goals, and then buildings create their own goals based on the academic goal number, the TBT goal number 2. Could you just kind of talk about what that is? Just for, I know the board already knows, but just since we're publicly presenting, just so the community can see like how ECAC has some different goals than some of the other
Yes.
buildings.
Well, at ECAC, you all know we credit recovery, dropout prevention. So it's very important to us as a ECAC family to make sure our students are earning their credits so that they can graduate on time. So the way that looks like at ECAC, I have a small staff. So we are the TBT, we're the BLT. So we meet our staff. We have a data wall. It's a virtual data wall. That's what you're referring to, our virtual data wall, where over the years it has changed a little bit, but has gotten better, where we have calculations for each student at ECAC based on the number of units that they have to complete to earn their credits. So our staff, they update it weekly so that we can always see where our students are in real time. That's how we meet. We sit down, we review. We look at the students that might not be making enough progress or fast enough for us. We set mentorships with those students to keep them on track, to motivate them, to make sure they come to school and let them know that they can do it. They can do the work. So that's what our TBTs look like.
Thank you, Dr. Pams. And I just also want to make sure publicly we acknowledge that last year, 100% of the students who attended the ECAC program met all graduation
Yes.
requirements. And so dealing with some kids that have challenges that, choose to be in your program, that's really an amazing number. And it's awesome that you set that goal for 100% again for this year. So
Yes, and
thank you.
we're marching right there. Can't wait, May 25th.
Thank
All right,
Ms. Payne,
yes.
so since this was opened up a little bit, explain to us how you got on track from the math intervention,
Oh,
adjusting to what you guys do to get.
what happened? Okay, again, just like the traditional TBTs, they meet, they go over data. Our math teacher, she does that as well. She assess our kids regularly to see what standards they need work and help on. And also we put in interventions. So what happened with our geometry goal? She noticed that when she changed her intervention to include hands-on activities, real life activities, having them walk around the building and measure the perimeter or find different lines and angles inside the classroom. So she noticed when that happens, when she gives them the hands-on opportunities, they do better. So that's the change that we did, providing more of hands-on activities in our geometry class and also doing our vocabulary daily. Thank you. Thank you.
For the rest of our this evening, recommendations 7B 1 through 6 and 7C 1 through 5.
Board, Mr. President is asked for recommendations of item 7B 1 through 6, as well as 7C 1 through 5. Can I have a motion, please? Second. Any discussions on readiness? Seeing none, Mr. Friedrich, can I have a roll call, please?
Mrs. Moore,
Yes.
Mr. Blackwell,
Yes.
Ms. Granger,
Yes.
Mr. Brown.
Yes, motion carries. Thank you. All right. That's 7, 8. 8A. 7. All right, board members, there is, items 8A1, NSBA conference, for me to also attend that conference. Can I have a motion, please? Thank you. Thank you for that as well. Can I have a roll call, Mr. Friedrich?
Ms. Granger,
Yes.
Mr. Brown.
Abstain. Motion carries. Thank you. All right, that's 8. 9. Now the time of our not executive session, visitors participation. If there are any members of our audience that would like to address the board, you can come to the podium. You can state your name, your address, and we have about 3 minutes per person for a total minute of 30 minutes. If anybody would like to come forward. Seeing none, thank you. Next, we'll go into an executive session. No action will be taken. We will go in for legal today, and that will be all. You all are dismissed. You do not have to stay for this part. Thank you all so much for coming out. Board members, can I have a motion to go into executive session? Thank you, and thank you. That motion has been moved and properly seconded. Can I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Black,
Yes.
Ms. Granger,
Yes.
Mrs. Moore.
Yes.
Mr. Brown.
Yes, we are now in executive session.